Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, former House Speaker Nizam Mohammed recently called on attorneys to unite and form a consortium to fight for the release of over 200 citizens who remain incarcerated under preventive detention orders during the state of emergency. And that is because we have a tyrant in office right now, Kamla Pasabi Sessa and Roger Alexander, the duo team, who are using crime as an excuse to infringe upon citizens' rights, constitutional rights, to be released from prison if there's insufficient evidence to charge them with a crime. We are living in a police state because we have a government that is using the excuse that they're trying to control crime. You don't control crime by making a country a dictatorship. Kamala Pasabi says so what you're doing is evil. And when it pertains to the Hadids, which will be mentioned in this news report, I listened to the audio last night finally. I found it online. Right? And people, it was a normal conversation between two frustrated women. Frustrated women who made it clear during their personal conversation that they are not criminals, they are not associated with criminals, that the government is targeting the wrong people. So all the conspiracy talks all the years about how these 1%ers are involved in crime and mafia and controlling this one and that one, we don't know if it probably has. But definitely not these Hadids and this woman Star Sabga. Because they spoke and you could have heard they were genuine, and when they were saying that they targeted the wrong people, we're not involved in no crime, we're not involved in anything, we're not involved in no gangs. Not once in their conversation did they say that they were going to contact their peoples who they're involved with to go and attack the government. They made statements that they wish certain things would happen. Or, a matter of fact, they didn't just say that they wish certain things would happen. They said they could happen or would happen. Because if it is you destroy the 1% businesses, the whole country will collapse. And what do you think will happen? When tens of thousands of people lose their jobs, what do you think is going to happen? Crime is going to increase. And then people are going to... It's possible that they could take action against the government. It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right. And they never said that they were going to call upon anybody to do it. They never even made those statements online that people could accuse them of inciting violence. They did not. And even their prejudice statements, that is hypocrisy on the part of the UNC and the PNM. Because UNC people were saying all kind of things about Rowley and the PNM. And African people will be saying all kind of things about the UNC and the East Indian people. So they say it all the time about each other. And then we also say it about our own races as well when we vex. East Indian people use those same kind of words when they're talking about other East Indian people. Likewise, African people say it about their own people as well. So even the prejudice aspect of it is total hypocrisy. Total hypocrisy, people. And also, once again, let us even look at it, even with the Christopher Sabaru case, which you could consider to be an incitement of violence. That man did not call upon anybody to commit any crime. He said it was hypothetical. He said, if I could, I would. I wouldn't go into what he said. But if I could, I would. It was hypothetical. He never said he was actually going to do it. And he didn't call upon anybody to do it either. He was speaking about if it was a different world, in other words, a different time, in other words, he would have done it. And that's because he's a grieving father whose son was killed by police officers. And he's seeing that justice is not going to be served. Mohammed made a call during a roundtable forum entitled Citizens' Rights, Freedom of Expression, Assembly and Protest in the SoE at the Cipriani Labour College, Valsane. Mohammed and attorneys spoke about the recent recommendation by the SoE Tribunal to release businessman Dominic Hadid and his wife, Genevieve, who were arrested on June 24th. You know why? Because most likely they also heard that audio and realized, but wait, that I want to lock up the people for talk. Kamla and Roger Alexander and Alistair Guevara are arresting and imprisoning people for wishes now, you know. Wishes? You can't even wish upon a star anymore. You go into jail. You're not conspiring to anything. You know when it becomes a crime? When your wishes are put into action and you begin to plot with people to carry out a crime. You begin to call certain individuals that you may know in order to carry out a crime. You make agreements with them that a payment will be made. That is conspiracy to commit a crime. Not just talking about you wish something would happen. That is how ridiculous. Roger Alexander, Kamala Pasabi-Sasa, and Alistair Guevara are. The world is laughing at us at this point in time. On Thursday, the Hadis walked free after the PDOs against them were revoked by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander, who says, oh, he assessed the situation over. No, you realize your whole thing was falling apart. Because the Privy Council said they were not going to expedite the case. And the tribunal recommended the release of these people. So what he was going to do? Matter of fact, he was actually asking them to do over the tribunal, you know. So somebody in authority told him, listen, stop it now. You're overdoing it now. We done already, getting messed up badly. Rest yourself now, man. Right? And yet he still ended up left Star Sabga in prison. Because he waited for the whole process to take place. I think the case supposed to be heard today, Monday. Mohammed said the Hadiths are just two of hundreds of people who have been detained under PDOs. Last Sunday, Guardian Media reported that over 400 people are being held on PDOs during the SoE. You have to give credit when credit is due. Yes, I have issues with Akash Samru. He was targeting the government for the wrong reasons at the wrong time. But I'm still thankful for them, just like how I'm thankful for Ian Allen. Because a lot of issues would never be raised in society if it weren't for these individuals. Mohammed added, the majority of people in prison under PDOs have come from struggling communities. Mohammed also questioned where legal aid was in all this. How come these people weren't properly represented? Trying hard to contain his tears, Mohammed said as an officer of the court he felt impotent, incapable of trying to really deliver these people, help these people. We are not in a nice place, we are in a very dark place, people. Put yourself in the situation of these people who are incarcerated. He said the poor conditions of TNT's prisons have been gaining a lot of concern within recent times. You know why? Because 3 people from the upper echelon of the society, they ain't come from Mova, Lavantil, and they ain't come from the hotspots. But thankfully it did end up being highlighted, no matter who ended up being the reason for it coming out of darkness, out of the darkness into light. Mohammed said he was yet to hear someone say, wait a minute, where are the lawyers of TNT? So true. I'm summoning my brothers and sisters in the legal fraternity. Come together. We are going to form a consortium and we are going to represent these people in the same way other privileged people have been represented. And give them the publicity others have been given. Yes? Equal rights and justice, people. Here, every creed and race is supposed to find an equal place. But at this point in time, not even the 1% have a place right now. Because this government is targeting them as well, and for the wrong reasons. I keep saying this over and over again. If there was evidence of a crime being committed, fine. But there's no evidence. He said whether or not the country is under an SOE, no person should be afraid of being arrested for talking, people. That is what Kamala and crew are doing. Arresting people for talking. Talking. That is evil, Madam Prime Minister. What you're doing is evil. I can't believe UNC people are supporting this. Not realizing in less than 4 years, most likely the PNM will win. And they will come back with a vengeance. And they will use these same laws to come after you. So relax in your mansions right now, singing and listening to Kuch Kuch Wotahe, and drinking your dal and macoing people business. Enjoy it while it lasts, though, because your turn will come in 2030. We are not breaking any law. The right to talk and the gift of speech is an expression of thanks to the Lord, he said. This man is a member of the law fraternity. He understands that people have free speech. He understands that what people said there was in a private conversation, and they never showed any intent to carry out the act. I'm telling you, the kind of lawsuit most likely these people are going to win is most likely going to be the tens of millions. And who knows, because of their status in society, it could end up even being in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Taxpayers are going to have to pay. Kamala will not pay that thing, you know. Roger Alexander will not pay anything. Alistair Guevara will not pay anything. A matter of fact, most likely he will retain his job and all. And that's how taxpayers will have to pay the bill.
Weather report for Trinidad and Tobago Monday, July 27, 2026. The weather forecast predicts initially fair and slightly hazy conditions that will gradually give way to increasing cloudiness with occasional showers and a 30% to 45% chance of scattered thunderstorms beginning mid-morning. Daytime high temperatures will reach 29 degrees Celsius to 31 degrees Celsius, feeling like 33 degrees Celsius to 34 degrees Celsius due to 78% humidity before dropping to an overnight low of 24 degrees Celsius. Moderate winds will blow from the east-northeast to east-southeast at 5 to 30 km per hour but can become gusty at times near heavy downpours. Localized street or flash flooding is possible during heavy showers and thunderstorm events. A mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust will remain present in the atmosphere and sensitive groups should exercise appropriate caution. Sea states will remain slight to moderate with open water waves ranging from 1.0 to 1.5 meters. Sheltered coastal areas will experience smooth conditions with swells up to 1.5 meters.
International news now. Families of 9/11 victims are urging organizers to bar New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani from attending the 25th anniversary ceremony at Ground Zero. That man is a radical jihadist who pretends to support leftism. Give him a chance, people, and he will enforce Sharia law in New York and in the whole of America. I don't understand how the left could be so easily deceived by these individuals, especially after 9/11, and especially in New York. That is where this terrorist attack took place years ago. And the thing about it is, you have to blame the far right as well, because a lot of the QAnon conspiracy theories come from the far right. And it's these QAnon conspiracy theories that have claimed for many years now that it was not the jihadists that attacked on 9/11, it was America's own government. Boy. More than 1,100 people, including over 300 relatives of victims, have signed a petition arguing that his public record and past associations make his presence inappropriate. 100% I agree with them, 100%. The petition says the anniversary should remain focused on remembrance, unity, and honoring those murdered in the September 11th terrorist attacks. The spokesperson for the 9/11 Memorial at Museum said the ceremony is intentionally kept free of politics, while Mamdani's office said he still plans to attend here because he's a bold-faced thug. World Jewish Congress Israel President Sylvan Adams met Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi in Paris to discuss a future democratic Iran and renewed diplomatic ties with Israel. It sounds wonderful, eh? But unless Israel or America gets the job done by removing those radical jihadist terrorists from office in Iran, this is just a dream. All it is a dream. During the meeting, Adams said he hopes to one day open an Israeli embassy in Tehran, while Pahlavi thanked Israelis and Jewish communities worldwide for supporting the Iranian people's fight for freedom. I just hope that they actually keep your word. If you end up really having the opportunity to govern Iran, please introduce democracy in that country. And don't end up like your father, because your father was a tyrant as well, just not as bad as these demonic people. As a symbolic gesture, Adams presented Pahlavi with 2 Jerusalem stone mezuzahs intended for the future Israeli embassy in Tehran and the future Iranian embassy in Jerusalem. Rest assured that even if it does take place, it's going to be for a short time, because Ezekiel 38 says that Iran will conspire and will unite with Turkey and Russia to invade Israel, but God will defeat them.
Bible quote of the day. Psalm 18:17-19. Delivered because he delights in me. He rescued me from my powerful enemies, from those who hated me and were too strong for me. They attacked me at a moment when I was in distress, but the Lord supported me. He led me to a place of safety. He rescued me because he delights in me.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.